we are live. I'm so
Anytime.
excited to do this. Welcome to the Wellness Toolkit. My name is Dr. Bridget Williams of the Green Harvest Health and the Wellness Toolkit, where we talk to people in the holistic space because there are a lot of things you can do to improve your health, including cannabis and CBD, but no one thing is everything. And so you need to have tools in your toolkit. So here we talk to people in the holistic space and in the kind of peaceful and relaxing space so that you can have better tools. And I ask the questions that are always on my mind as well. And so today I am excited because this is a big part of my life, right? We are talking to Etta Beasley from the House of Hygge. How are you today, Etta?
I am so good. Thank you so much for having me. The sweatshirt is perfect for the occasion. We're very excited to see how it can really mesh with your holistic approach.
Absolutely. So yeah, usually when I do the show, I'm kind of all dressed up, but heels and hygge do not go together. So we definitely came and I brought like my favorite tea, shameless plug for Brewetta tea and for Solomon out there. So love the tea always, of course. And so let's talk about you and let's talk about the House of Hygge. How did you get here? What are we talking about today?
Yes. So, I identify most as a mother. That's like my key intuition. And if it wasn't for my kids, I don't think really Hygge would have made its presence in my life the way it has. But I'm a writer, obviously, of House of Hygge. It is a very fresh blog, but it's a blog that invites people to really just enjoy whatever place they're at on their story and their journey. And it encourages people just to stay strong on focusing on what makes our life really good and how can we bring comfort and calm to our life.
Yes, absolutely. So so it's definitely a blog where people can kind of experience Hygge lifestyle and the minimalist lifestyle. But for everyone that always asks, and it's not the easiest thing to explain, what is, first of all, Hygge, am I saying it correctly?
I've seen it written in a couple different ways. So Hygge is like kind of my initial reaction. And I think there's a slight variation to Hygge too.
Okay.
So, I think it's as diverse as it is in our lives. So whatever works.
Yeah, no, whatever works, right? As long as you're loving it. So what is Hygge? Like, how do you explain it to other people?
Oh yeah, that's a really tough one. Hygge, it starts when you Google it, it's going to come up with some really awesome, cool pictures of environments that are cozy, have fireplaces and candles and socks and all that good stuff.
Yes.
But it's so much more than that. Hygge is really a feeling that you get when you're at your calm, when you're at your comfort zone. And we like to say that that's our House of Hygge, but it can stem far away from that. It follows us wherever we go. It is different for everybody, like you said. So, I think there isn't one translated word in English for it, but there's a toolkit of words that you can use to talk about all the good feelings that you get when you are in your comfort zone.
Absolutely. So let's start with cozy, right? So let's kind of like, what words would you use to describe it? First of all, it's a Scandinavian concept, thought process, right? So it's not a I mean, I refer to it like a celebration or what have you, but it's really a way of living. It's a lifestyle, right?
Oh yeah. You can't just leave it at the door. You can't, it follows your mindset. I like to say that Hygge starts on the inside.
Yes.
And when you have it on the inside and when you begin to change your mindset and your lifestyle to incorporate Hygge-like things, that's when you start to see your environment change. You start to see your reactions to situations, your reaction to stress, to the negative things that inevitably are going to interrupt our lives. you'll see that the Hygge part of us
Mhm.
kind of shifts our mindset to include different different ways that we can react to those situations. And so comfort, it's such a varied word, it can be very literal,
Mhm.
comfort, but when we're thinking of our mindset, comfort is about being content
Yeah.
and being okay and being able to take those negative things and turn them into positive things.
So I love that because it's not just some of the things you do, but in response to the things you do, it's going to change how you respond to the rest of your environment, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So that so keep like in Danish in Denmark, Scandinavia, it gets dark early. Because of how north they are, they don't get a lot of sunlight during the winter, and they kind of buckle down a little bit. But unlike here, you're in Wisconsin, I'm
Yes.
in Ohio, we kind of have this, oh, the weather is horrible, it sucks, I can't stand this. And they make it beautiful. And that's what I've taken from Hygge, right? That it's the snuggling, it's embracing the simple pleasures, which you're an incredible, role model for that, and what you really exemplify in your blog. You're spending time with loved ones, and it's the comfort food and the kinship and the candles, which I brought candles in today because of this, and the blankets, and it's the glass of wine, and it's the hot cocoa, and it's this way of embracing, and it's the little fairy lights and Christmas lights, right? But it's a way of embracing this moment, this period of time where it tends to be darker there, where it's cooler and it's cold and it's dark, and they make it beautiful. And that's different than American culture, where we are mad about the snow, right? And
Yep.
we're kind of, I don't know, we just kind of have that bad winter blues, right? We have a lot of seasonal affective disorder, and their approach is totally different. So tell me about the blog. Like, how did you get to a place where you wanted to blog about this?
Yeah, I've thought about blogging for a really long time, mostly because I like writing, but
Mhm.
I never thought that anything I had to say was going to be interesting enough, or I don't want to just write about my life. Nobody, really cares about that. What I wanted, or what I was really waiting for, was something to say to me, okay, people need to know about this.
Mhm.
And so I've known about Hygge for a while, but in the last couple of years, things have really changed for me, as I'm sure it has for so many other people, right? All of
Mhm.
us, really. And I just found that I've struggled and I've made it through, and Hygge has helped me make it through those times. And now everybody's got to jump on board. I just
Right.
felt like everybody's got to know that it might be dark,
Mhm.
metaphorically and literally
Right. Right. Absolutely.
now, but it can get better.
Yeah.
And it's about, like you said, embracing the mindset that things can improve, and they will improve when we allow the space to do it.
And doing it through when I look at what people do for Hygge, what I do for Hygge, it is mindful self-care and also mindful care of others, right?
Yeah.
And like I'm going 100 miles per hour all the time. And so this whole idea is like, it is far outside what people would expect from me because it never stops for me, right? But the idea of just taking that moment back, and we've been doing this for years. So my kids know I don't really bake, but they're like, oh, it's Hygge time. So they think I will bake, and it's just slowing things down in a way that is really, really beautiful. And, I started when the kids were smaller, I had all fake candles, which is what's behind me right now. And as they got older, I would have more real candles. And so it became this taking control of what you can, taking control of that environment and making it really beautiful. So since you've started the blog, like what type of people have you interacted with?
Oh, just so many people. I thought I would have this I didn't know. Actually, I don't know what I thought. I just knew that I would probably have people who were like-minded. But what I found was that a lot of the people I came across didn't think like me. And in fact, they were very curious about this lifestyle and how Hygge has changed, my thought process and the way of living, that
Mhm.
they became intrigued. And so I started to see that it was more about engaging people who were not like me. And that
Mhm.
really what drives the spirit of keeping the blog going, is that I'm getting people from all over the world reading.
Yes.
And the only way I know is from all those, statistics that I'm
Sure.
so new to the blog world
Yeah.
that I'm getting like these statistics about where people are coming from. So I'll
Yeah.
get and I'm like, oh wow, like somebody over there likes, has found interest in something I've written. That to me is just so cool. And it's
Yeah.
very like
Yeah, very good. Yeah, very good. So I love that. So tell me, so you have three children,
yes.
and they're tiny, right? They're little
Yeah.
people.
Very.
So tell me, how do you express Hygge for yourself? How do you express it for your family? How do you incorporate it into your life? Because you also live a minimalist life, and talk about that as well, right?
Yeah. So it's been quite the transition for me to go from a mom who is busy, who's living in chaos, who has all these toys and all these things, that I knew my struggle in the change would be getting my children on board. So
Mm-hmm.
especially when it came to minimalism, because kids are very attached to those things that they love, and I created that in a way, right? So my I never used the word Hygge with them because I just wanted to be so ingrained in their system that they're like, okay, this is whatever this is, it's good.
Right.
So whether that be family movie nights or eating dinner at grandma and grandpa's or snuggling on the couch, playing or making tents or in the living room, like those little things that normally I would just be too chaotic in my world to embrace.
Mm-hmm.
I've made the change, and then all they know is that they like it. They like
Mm-hmm.
when we do these things. So they're embracing it in ways that little kids would embrace it, right? They're just enjoying knowing that I'm happier and they're happier because of that. So I would encourage anybody who has kids to, one way or another, try to incorporate them into those Hygge practices.
Absolutely. Like taking that time just to slow down and just breathe for a moment, you know?
Oh,
Yeah. And as simple as that sounds, it's not that easy. And so along with practices so you definitely shared some of the things that you do for your children, which is really beautiful. And kids do like a simple lifestyle, right? They like structure, and they like a regimen, and they like simplicity. What do you do for yourself?
so that is tricky because, when I think of Hygge, I think about what brings me comfort and what brings me happiness and joy. And serving others has really been that leading factor.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a teacher and a mother, so serving others is all I do, as you do, right? As a deputy, you serve other people all the time. So being able to step back and say, okay, what do I need to make sure that I can keep this train going?
Mm-hmm.
My mornings have been like key. And this is coming from somebody who has hit the snooze button more times in a week than I am in years of age.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm chronic late sleeper, rushing out of bed, but I have made a very intentional change in my mornings to get up earlier, and that's not easy.
Yes.
But when you do that, all of a sudden I realize I have a little time to wake up, so I get up and I hate being cold. So I have my slippers right there. I have my, a blanket if I'm really cold, or maybe a
Mm-hmm.
robe. I I don't light real candles in the morning, but I do have like diffusers that I use right away. I
Mm-hmm.
keep lights low, if I have time, I will do meditation, I will do yoga, maybe I'll even take a shower. Like those things seem so simple, but making the intentional time to do them has changed how I react the rest of the day. You know, then when I wake my kids up, I'm like, okay, if I've got nothing to do because I'm ready and I feel good and I've brought that comfort that I need, now I can serve other people.
Yeah. No, and I think you make such a good point, because it's the toss up between sleeping later, right, and utilizing that time for self-care, right? And just that quiet that you have in the morning, and it is still dark outside, usually, well, at least definitely this time of year, and to be able to breathe through that time. And it's magic, particularly when you have small children, right? I mean, just have that opportunity can it just sets your mindset in a different place and calmer and more at peace. So I love that. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about, well, if someone wanted to kind of get this idea, right? Like, you know, it's not just about sweatshirts and tea, though tea is definitely a part of it. Where would you have someone start if they wanted, one, to start in a more Hygge lifestyle, and two, a little bit trickier, if they wanted to start into a minimalist lifestyle?
Oh, that's a great question. I really think about Hygge minimalism as being like two trains on a track headed in the same direction. No, they don't collide. You might be a little bit more Hyggeistic. I just made that up, or minimalistic.
Yeah.
But you know, you have to kind of approach them a little differently. A Hygge lifestyle, if you want to start bringing that or incorporating that into your life, you have to start within. You have to ask yourself, what are the things that really bring me comfort? Because that's going to be different from you and me. It's no prescribed
Right,
list.
right.
And then you have to ask yourself, how can I incorporate those things that I really like into my daily lifestyle?
Mhm.
And you don't have to just all of a sudden go out and buy 100 candles and buy, I don't know, soups and a fireplace. You know, you just start small, start with one thing that you can look internally to change or to incorporate, and then slowly build that up. And you'll
Right.
see that all of a sudden your environment starts to change.
Absolutely. And being intentional, right? Being so like, because yeah, I'll have a glass of wine or have coffee and blah, blah, and I'm on the run. But when you intentionally saying, I'm going to enjoy this
Mhm.
and just slow down for a moment, then it takes on a whole life of its own, right? And you really get to appreciate just those moments, which I think is a problem in American culture. We don't appreciate the moment. We're constantly just moving on to the next, right? And that's what I think Hygge. And I'm glad that there's someone out there that people can kind of gravitate to. And your website, your blog is so beautiful because it's peaceful, and it gives that just, wait, I can take a breath for a moment, because I probably hold my breath all day, right? And it allows you to just continue, wait, I can add a little bit of that into my life, just, you know, just a touch at a time. So
I think you
that's,
really nailed it when you said like taking one thing at a time intentionally.
mhm.
I wrote something not that long ago about monotasking, about just
Mm,
doing one thing. And that is
I
so
think I
hard.
have a
So
clue what that
anti-American.
means. That's fantastic. So monotasking. So talk a little bit. I mean, like you're going counterculture here. So go ahead and talk about monotasking.
Monotasking would really be taking a step back and doing just one thing at a time.
Yes.
And we are so equipped, especially as Americans, to do as many things as we can at once.
Yes.
We think it's more efficient. We think that we are better people, whatever that means, right? Better. But we just feel like we're more successful when we can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
But when you take a step back and intentionally just do one thing at a time, you begin to realize how enjoyable that one thing can be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even
Yeah,
things we don't
that's so
like.
clear. And I love that. Really, you can really appreciate how wonderful that one thing can be if you were just doing that, right? That's,
Exactly.
and we don't do enough of that. So I definitely get that. So let's talk a little bit. If you are someone that uses CBD or cannabis, I know Wisconsin does not have a program at this time. Ohio, we're in the beginning years of ours. Whether it's CBD or cannabis, if you look up CBD, cannabis, Hygge, bunch of articles out there, right? And really, there it is very synonymous to have this idea of slowing down and enjoying the moment and being at peace and what you're able to get from CBD or what you're able to get from cannabis, because it does take you to a much more peaceful, clear, right? So definitely with CBD, it gives you clarity just to handle what's in front of you. And as we were saying, we don't do enough of that. On Leafly, they have like a quote that there's no better companion to do it Hygge with than with cannabis. And so when I say cannabis, is whether that's CBD or cannabis for you, it allows you to just take that moment, and it kind of forces you just to stay in that space for just for that little bit of time. And we could all benefit from that without a doubt.
Oh, definitely.
As long as helping with anxiety, right? And helping with your sleep and all those things that just make you a little bit more of a more peaceful person, without a doubt. So let's pull up the slides that we have so we can learn a little bit more about you and the House of Hygge. And yeah, I was so excited to do this today. All right, so let's see what we have. And hopefully people can see this. Okay, great.
Looks great.
And I always leave this on there, I always forget. So you can learn more about Etta at the House of Hygge and at ettashouseofhygge.com. So go ahead and tell them a little bit more. And you're in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, if people didn't know.
Yes, I'm out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I primarily post, once or twice a week on ettashouseofhygge.com.
Mhm.
But my email is just an open book for you, an open invitation for you to
Mhm.
ask questions. I love hearing about your stories. So your stories, your story of Hygge, how it has affected you, that I would love to intake at my email there.
Absolutely. Very good. Yeah, I love that. And okay, so maybe a little shameless, I don't know, but I learned about Hygge because I ordered Kringle Danishes from Wisconsin. A friend of mine years ago told me about them, and they're a great Christmas gift. That's pretty much how I got introduced to them. And one catalog that I ended up getting said it's Hygge time, and I was like, "What? I don't even understand. Those letters don't even go together, right?" And I started looking this up and watching tons of YouTube videos and realized this is what I need in my life. And that's how I got into Hygge, and I've been a huge fan of it. And for people that are really busy, it's that reminder just to slow down, right? So absolutely. um and so you're all over social media. Go ahead and tell them about that.
Yep, I will always post links to my post on my website, to Pinterest and Facebook and Instagram. But throughout the week, I like to add different maybe questions or inspirations in either Hygge or minimalism on my social media for you to, just interact with and see, and hopefully be a little bit inspired and encouraged by.
Absolutely. I love that. And you have a deal for us today, so go ahead and share that with us as well.
So this is a little freebie that I have not posted on my site at all. So if you are listening and tuning in, there is a editable, an editable document. It's through Google Docs for you to start your journey in creating your own house of Hygge. So I'm going to drop that link directly into the chat here.
Oh, but the chat, they won't see that because that's
I'm
showing
sorry.
me. Yeah, no, that just, I know we
That's
said
gotta
that
be-
before. Can they email you if they would like
They,
that?
they can email me.
Yes.
Yes.
And
And
absolutely. And if people want to direct message, us at Green Harvest Health, we'll definitely get that over to you so that you can share that link. And I took a look at it. I absolutely love it. And if this is a journey that you're interested in embarking on, then definitely get How to Create a House of Hygge. It's a great start and a great guide to kind of simplifying and your life and enjoying it a little bit better. So absolutely. So definitely go to the Etta's Etta Beasley at gmail.com or direct message us or contact us at Green Harvest Health and we'll get that over to her as well. And so I pulled these up because these are some great images of what Hygge means. So I kind of just want to talk about it a little bit and kind of go ahead, just kind of
instantly
tell me
brings
what
all
you
the
see.
good feels.
What's that?
I said it instantly brings all those good feels.
Yes, absolutely.
So there's the Hygge aesthetic is just incorporated so well in these pictures because you see like the comfort items, the twinkling lights, this I love this bottom right one with the socks and the fireplace because nothing speaks Hygge more than like that warmth and the warm drinks. But what I like even more about it is that it's people together, which
Yes.
is that core responsibility of living that Hygge lifestyle is to incorporate your loved ones in that journey.
Yes.
So definitely a great start to incorporate all of these cool things in there.
Yeah. And so like you said, the lights and then right in the middle here, which I think I pulled, I'm connected to your page on Facebook. So I think you had posted this and I grabbed it immediately. And that a Hygge night with candles and warm blankets and low lights and family and friends. And you don't have to do a lot, right? It can be game night or it can just be, you could just chat and talk. Like, can you imagine you're chatting and you're talking and there's no agenda and it's just really just enjoying one another.
I feel like that's so, I don't want to say old school, but it kind of is that I can't remember the last time I just sat in a room and talked with people, that we don't get that opportunity. We always meet for a reason. We meet for lunch or we meet for a movie or we meet for, anything like that. So to be able to sit and just have a conversation with people
Yes,
really
absolutely.
brings us back to that relationship with them.
Yes. And then one thing that it does say is incorporating the cartoon at the bottom here, the books, which we don't do enough of that, right?
No.
And the outside, like appreciating that, right?
Yep, there is a newfound word that comes from the same Norwegian descent, and it's at the tip of my tongue, but it's all about being outside and enjoying nature and hiking, and those things are already part of Hygge. And we were talking earlier about how Hygge is brought with you wherever you go, so that's a great part of it too.
Yes, absolutely. Love that. And another one here is, so we were talking about gathering and being together, right? And appreciating people. And I know it's COVID, right? So
6 feet.
yeah, absolutely. And so that's one thing I did want to ask you is how do you Hygge well during COVID changed that, right? So how do you Hygge during?
It did. So I will share a recent experience. My sister really encouraged me to begin cooking with her we did it just over Facebook Messenger, where we would get all the ingredients, we would pick a new recipe, and we would cook at the same time and make this meal virtually. And we had to do that anyway. She lives
together apart.
Yeah, together but apart. And she lives in Seattle, so we're already kind of apart. But that was just like a really cool way to bring that piece into it. And it's perfect for the times that we are living in.
And creative, right? To be able to just say, you know, let me just we can cook and laugh and create something at the same time, but you don't have to be in the same room. So
Yeah.
yeah, very creative. And so obviously, you know, these people are together and we will be together again soon. And then the picture on the right is actually me sitting with my fairy lights, which I often do. So I do slow down and I do stop, believe it or not. And just I sit, like, once we got rid of the Christmas tree, I have this little fairy light thing, and I just sit there, and this is my Hygge moment, whether it's my tea or my glass of wine or my coffee. I sit there and I just kind of take in a moment and just kind of slow down. And then the other thing that I was going to share is that I have this Hygge game, right? So it's a game, but it's really conversational cards. And I'll pull these out, and sometimes I'll sit there and ask my family. Sometimes I just sit there and ask myself, you know. But things like, what's your favorite guilty pleasure? Or if you could spend a whole day with any person, who would it be? And they're just kind of fun and thought provoking and just really sweet to just
What
kind
a
of,
cool game.
and to pull you away from all the other stressors that are in your head, right? And just kind of get away from the news and get away from all those other things and just kind of enjoy. So absolutely.
That's super cool.
Yeah. And then, as always, you know, we always mention Green Harvest Health and our 3 offices, and we're always available for you to reach out to. If you didn't get the information for the Etta Beasley at gmail.com to get her free how to incorporate, Hygge into your life, reach out to us and we will get that information over to her. And if you're watching, you can use Green 35 to get a discount on our CBD products, which we have curated and cultivated over the last couple of years to really create some really great options for people. So definitely check that out at greenharvesthealthcbd.com. We also offer discounts on medical cannabis cards, which I know you guys are thinking about it, doing it in Wisconsin, but you're not quite there yet.
Not quite, but you're paving the way for us.
Well, like I said, Ohio, we're conservative, but you know, we've created an interesting program here as well. And then if you're interested in being in the CBD space, we have people that do direct sales and affiliates and do distribution. But we also now, if you want to create your own brand, we support you in doing that as well. And so we help people with white labeling as well as making custom product formulation. So definitely reach out to us at Dr. Bridget at greenharvest.health for that. And upcoming events and services. So if you just like being online, after tonight, after our wellness toolkit tonight, go to championnationlive.com, and I'm doing a talk on the wellness is wealth, investing in your health with CBD. And it's in room 5, which is the woman empowerment room at 9:19. But, and it's free. I should say that, right? So if you are interested in just kind of hearing a little bit about health and CBD, go to championnationlive.com this evening. On the 27th of February, I'm doing a talk about the V and CBD, a women's health series. For this one, we're talking about menopause and CBD. And this is a live event in Cleveland. And so you get a ticket at Eventbrite. So check that out. It's with Mary Johnson of the Vitamin Candy Cafe. And if you're in the CBD space or want to know more about how you make a successful business, we are doing creating a sustainable hemp business marketing in the cannabis industry with Kevin Green of Faces International and the Cleveland School of Cannabis. I'll be doing the introduction for that. So if you want to get in this space, then definitely check this out, because you might want to have that CBD business, but you also want to make it successful. So. And watch us on YouTube, subscribe to us. We're building a library of really great information, I hope. And one of those will definitely be talking about Hygge with Etta Beasley. So definitely subscribe so you can watch these videos and share them with friends. And that is it. I'm so excited to do this today. What a great opportunity to really share a way of thinking and being, and how making those little changes can make such a huge impact on the rest of your life, right? So,
Yes, Dr. Bridget, thank you so much for having me.
yeah.
I am blessed to be here, and I'm glad for your work and for your empowerment of people around you and for the empowerment of holistic wellness.
Yes, absolutely. And definitely check out House of Hygge on Facebook. That's where I found you initially. And really, what is it? Do you subscribe? You like? I don't know what you do on Facebook.
You just like
Thumbs
it.
up it. I don't know what you do. But and learn more about what she's sharing, because it can just calm your life, and maybe you can monotask
Yes.
instead of multitask, and just make your life a little bit more beautiful and a little bit easier. Thank you again, Etta. I look forward to talking to you more and sharing, and people can get your free ebook, and so that they can make a change in their life.
Perfect. My pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a great night.
You too.